This is the Transformers The Last Night Premier Edition Deluxe Class Crosshairs. The figure is part of Wave 3 of these Deluxe Class figures for the Premier Edition line of the new Transformers The Last Night toy line. Here's a quick look at the packaging. Here's the rest of the assortment. Now, Crosshairs is essentially a retooling of and repaint of the Age of Extinction Deluxe Class Crosshairs. And you're probably thinking, why the hell should I get another one when I already have the Age of Extinction? Well, there are some slight differences from the old one. This is the regular. This is not the premium. There's a premium edition for this one. I never got that one. This is the regular one that came out in Age of Extinction. I bought two so that you could get two of these machine guns. And as you can see, much has changed with the figure mold. Just put this away. Okay, first off, as you can obviously see, the guns are different this time. This is a smaller, they've got a smaller machine gun for the Last Night version. It pegs in differently in alt mode. If you look at the older version, this one is much longer, and I think this one is more screen accurate than this one. I do like this one a lot. This one's not too bad either. This one looks more like a gun for a Transformer for some reason. This one looks more like for a G.I. Joe, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's one difference. The other main difference, major change that they've done is they've gotten rid of this soft PVC material for his trench coat of sorts, and this was one of the turn-offs with this figure for me, that you had to plug in something, a piece into another piece, which I thought was very difficult to do with this original version. And over time it'll get dusty, and it will get I think it deteriorates a little bit, and because of that, the figure is also very much hindered because of the way that thing transformed. Now, what they did was, also to make it look more accurate, they've just added these. These are just flaps. These are not part of the car. In car mode, they do fold in, but in robot mode, they fold out. They act like those. They're supposed to be the extensions of his trench coat, which you can just do this. And this will allow for better motion, articulation, and less hindrances on the figure's limbs. Also, they've managed to reduce much of the kibble from the first one, which was like giving it a trench coat look. They managed to compress a lot of that hood and roof assembly. That they've remolded that whole back area so that it compresses more neatly inside. I could still compress some more, but it's a lot better than this one. Also, you'll notice that the windscreen or the windshield is much different from this one. This one is very glittery. First time I noticed that. I would have preferred a more clear one, but anyway. Different spoilers, which we'll see in alt mode, rear mode, a little bit different, and obviously the paint apps. The black paint apps on the green plastic is different this time around. Another thing, the legs seem the same. They've just been repainted with more screen accurate colors, with more silver on green rather than black on green. The arms, they don't have the premium editions paint apps here, but it's also much different. There's less kibble on it. This one is big panel, car panel on the side, which I think this one is a much improved version of the forearm. It gives it a less bulky feel to it, and I think it's more accurate this way, so that's great. They've also remolded the shoulder pads. As you can see, it's less obtrusive. They've made the joints thinner than this one, and they've allowed it to clear the wheels. This one, they don't fold down all the way because the wheels are just blocking the way. While this one, it's much thinner, and it'll allow for you to fold down the shoulders and give it that more screen accurate look and less hefty left bulky shoulder pads. The wheels seem to be the same. These do feel a little bit smaller. On my copy of the figure, this one is very loose. It just pops off very easily for some reason. I think it's the molding of those tabs, but it does appears to be the same, but a little bit smaller. And yep, as you can see, yep, it's a little bit smaller, but probably 2 millimeters in diameter smaller. But the design is basically the same. Treads are the same. It's a lighter type of black plastic, more gray than that one. I do like that one better. So yeah, torso. I think they've retained it. There's still those peg holes for the old trench coat. So they've kept the old they kept the old torso. The biceps, I think, are the same. The shoulders are the same, I think. Head sculpt. Head sculpt is different. It looks the same, but there are subtle differences. If you notice the cheeks here, they're much smoother than these. These have, I guess, wrinkles, if you call them robot wrinkles, than this one. The lips are also quite different. He's slightly different. He feels a little bit more smiling than this guy, or this guy feels more smiling than this one. There's a bit of a difference there. Also, they've removed the light piping. There's still that clear plastic, but they painted green over it. This one is not. So this one will retain the light piping. Like that. And this one, the light piping's gone because of the paint. I kind of like the paint apps on this one better. The green on black makes him look like a paratrooper. This one, it's just all green plastic with silver paint on his face. Autobot symbol right here. This guy, I don't even remember where they put the Autobot symbol on him. I knew it's a small one as well, but oh, here, right here. So this one I think is better. They put the Autobot symbol right smack in the middle. So those are the basic differences for the figures. Is he a better figure? An improved figure? Definitely. Much better, I think. It's more accurate. But paint apps, I'm not so sure. I do like the more accurate paint apps, but this other figure, I think, has like for the head sculpt, much of the paint apps gives him I think a more solid paint apps on this one. But again, if you're going for speed and accuracy, this is the one you want to pick up. Okay, let's get him into his alt mode. Now, the figure I got, for some reason, did not have any instructions. I did look for it. I removed every single bit of the box. As you can see, there is no instructions. It's a defect. It sucks. There's no instructions in it, because if I have to give this to another person, there's no instructions to give. So I might go back to the store and have it replaced to get one with instructions. And also because this one, the wheel is very defective, I'll try and see if I can still get a replacement for this one. Also, I did notice the guns, I don't have instructions, so I don't know if this is true. The guns sort of fit here there are pegs on the underside of the trench coat pieces, like for this one. It's supposed to peg in this way, so that one works. But for this one, for the life of me, I've been trying several times to just have this one hold, and okay, so it holds now. But for the longest time, I could not get that gun to just stay there, and the slightest tapping will just pop that thing off, and it's not a very solid tab. I wish they had made it a circle peg instead of that rectangular peg, and yeah. Okay, so let's transform. Let's get rid of this wheel because it's going to pop off as we transform him anyway, so let's put it there. Okay, transformation is basically the same. You still fold the feet inward like this, fold the heel spurs like this. I do like that silver better compared to that all black and on green. So it still tabs the same way. No biggie. Okay, fold the trench coat pieces like that. Okay, just straighten out the arms. Articulation is the same. It still has this wrist swivel and all that. I'm not going to talk about that. Unfurl or unfold the hood piece and bumper piece. That you can tab. Does it tab in? It should tab in somehow. Right here. Okay. And then these trench coat pieces, they just fit in right here. So it's a lot easier transformation, I think, for this front part of the car. Now here's the tricky bit. The arms do still retain that crazy, very tight transformation that the old figure had. So you'll have to just be very patient with it. Just tab this one. Just align this one. Right. No, don't do that. Just, it's here, right there. Just align the arm so that it folds this way. Same thing with this one. Align it so that it folds this way. And my copy of the figure, it doesn't align properly for some reason. Look at this. See, there's a little bit of a gap right there as opposed to this one. It should be more flush like that one, but on this one, it's just not happening. I think they've put it too much, too tight, the forearm on that elbow, but it's just not happening. Okay, so go ahead and tab that entire arm assembly. There's a tab right there in that slot. There's another tab right there for this slot. Right there. And do the same on the other side. Ugh. It's so freaking tight. Okay, tab it here first and then tab it here. Okay, there we go. Okay, and lastly, just fold these here and then fold that rear bumper piece. Okay, put the wheel back on. And there you go. There is Crosshairs in his alt mode. Now the guns, they do peg in here. They don't do it there anymore. There is a small, very thin tab on that magazine. And you just tab it here underneath the forearms, like that. And he's good to go. And here is a comparison of both Crosshairs in their alt mode, the C6 Corvette. More accurate. This is probably more accurate, but I do love the lines of this old alt mode. I love how he is. It looks wider. It looks more narrow here in this section. This one, it just looks wider here and more narrow on the sides, as you can see. They've remolded the whole alt mode, and as I showed you, they've got smaller wheels. This rear spoiler is much different. Length appears to be longer. Let me show you that. Yep, the new mold is a little bit longer than the first mold, but a little bit more slender. All in all, I think it's still the better one. I wish they were made of clear plastic instead of this amber glittery plastic. Paint apps. This appears to be better because it's more symmetrical or symmetric than this one. This is asymmetric with only the stripes here. And if you look on the underside, the transformation of this one comes out better and more compact, because for this transformation, you still have to negotiate with that that soft PVC material for the waist cape or for the trench coat that just doesn't know where to go. I mean, it's just, you just have to squeeze it somewhere underneath that whole assembly right there. Here, you don't have to negotiate that. There's no trouble with that. Also, this one does not come with those small mini pistols that this one has. It's hiding underneath here. So it's a better, a lot easier transformation, a smoother one than this one. It's still tight, but compared to this one, it's a little bit less of a pain to transform this one than this one. Also, the guns, it can only fit one gun here on the pegs. This one you can fit both guns, and I understand the retool of the gun to fit. The forearms have been retooled to have that peg right there, so that it's more convenient to store the weapons. So very similar, but again, at the end of the day, I think this one is still the better crosshairs. This one is just great to have, maybe for Age of Extinction shelf, or maybe just as a figure. But if you have to pick just one crosshairs, the new crosshairs, is the one you want to get. It's better in all aspects, in most aspects. Maybe not paint apps, but the design of the paint apps is better. The size of the car, I think, is much better. Transformation is better. They've fixed all the kibble issues, most of the kibble issues. But just be wary of the defects or the quality issues that this one might have, like I have on the wheel, and the lack of instructions. So there you go, folks. Hope you've enjoyed this little video review. This has been the Transformers The Last Knight Premier Edition Deluxe Class Crosshairs. Thanks for watching.